Ezzy here, and guess what I got for you? 5 things that I navigated when I was on my way to kill myself. Another suicide talk that you might not think of that actually helped me to beat the suicidal ideations. And so, hey, I'm not a professional, but I am professional. I have navigated in my own way, and I've come out of a space that was dark as dark can be. And so I'm going to share 5 things that I did. Hopefully they'll help some of you. Feel free to reach out if you're navigating in that space. And if you're open, what have you got to lose, right? There's a lot to lose. And we're speaking to your value. The first thing that I navigated, that I looked at, I've got my little list here. The first thing that I had was find my superpower. See, those of you who've known me for a long time know I went through a divorce, second divorce. My mom died at the same time. My business has disappeared. I lost my religion, blah, blah, blah. I had a major disillusionment. So what did I do? I was looking at my work. When I decided that I wasn't going to kill myself on July 18th, I said, okay, in 2016, I'm going to start over. I'm going to try. And I actually didn't decide not to kill myself. I just thought, okay, I'm not going to do it on this date. So I said, let me give myself 3 years. I'm going to go out and experience life and chronicle it. This is really where the Instagram started with Ezra Unified. And then I'm going to share. So my family would have something because we had just navigated with suicide in the family, my mom passing away, splitting, disenfranchisement from the family, etc. So I decided, okay, let me go find my superpower. And how did I do that? In truth, and I'm not saying you do the same thing in the same way, but I put myself in a lot of dangerous situations because I was already like, I'm gonna live it up. And in the process, something clicked. You see, it might sound funny, but my superpower is the fact that I'm epic. If you read at the top, it says Epic Ezra. The Instagram didn't start off like that. It was Ezra Unified because I was trying to put the pieces back together. So what is it to be epic? It means good things happen in an epic way for me, and also the things that seem lows are also epic lows. And so I put that to the test, going off to Bali, off to Southeast Asia, adventuring, putting myself way in the ocean till I thought maybe I'll never come back, and then having these experiences of the epic nature of my being and my willingness to just experience that not very few people have witnessed, but some of them have. Okay, and the same thing keeps coming out of their mouths. God damn, it's epic. And also I had to let myself feel it. So I felt that superpower that I have, which is my epicness, right? Grandness. And then I began to say, okay, let me learn about it. It's one thing. But what I'm saying is, put yourself out there and get to know yourself. Maybe there's something that you forgot about you that's been with you your whole life. I've been this way my entire life, but I got lost in the shuffle and in the darkness in the process of just navigating the things that happen along the path. Number 2, I put keep trying and be willing to die along the way. What do I mean by keep trying? A lot of times we reach out for a solution, and if that first solution doesn't work, the 5th, the 6th solution, we get pooped, okay? My suggestion is if you're already in a space where you want to give up on life, you got nothing to lose and everything to lose. So I would say treat it like a marathon. Set a time frame like I did, okay? Set a time frame, 5, 10 years. I guarantee within that time frame, if you really, with all your intensity, put that energy that you have into identifying some of the things that I'm talking about, you will move forward. How do I also know? I haven't just helped myself. I have and I continue to help people navigate the space of depression, suicidal ideations. And it's not just one thing, right? It's not just, oh, you sat with medicine, now you're good. No, because it wasn't that for me. So for me, it's a whole full round of things. There's the contemplation, navigation in process, contemplating and coming up with a plan of action, and then I'm walking with you, which we call integration. Okay, and so I'm integrating with people who sat with me in ceremonies 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Why? Because I know it's a long-term thing, so I have a long-term commitment, which also leads me to my next one. Identify what you love and what you want to live for. Now, Lena and Artemis, thank you for tuning in. I'm giving my 5 things. of the many, but 5 that have been specifically beneficial to me navigating through suicidal ideations. The first one that I listed was finding your superpower. My superpower is I'm fucking epic. It's just what it is. Number 2, okay, keep trying and be willing to die along the way. And as I've shared it in different words, and I've shared with my friend Lena, who's on right now. I said, hey, I killed portions of myself off in the process of killing myself. And really what I was doing was removing that, which wasn't me, that I was in conflict with, okay? Lena, did you know I was afraid of the ocean? I was afraid of big waves, afraid of deep waters. So my journey with the ocean has been pushing myself, putting myself into these positions. For me to go surf in Padang and all these other places in Bali, sometimes I went by myself and there was no one there. And then so I put myself to the test in many of circumstances that I haven't even spoken to. And that really gave me a deeper insight as to my personal epic nature, also how dangerous I can be. And then, but I felt it. So no one can take that away because it's experiential. Yeah? The second thing that I said was be willing to die along the way. Why? Come on now, if you're really feeling suicidal, you're navigating suicidal ideations, and I've helped other people, you can come up to the cliff and look over and then also check in with yourself and see if this is really what you want to do. So for me, I had to put myself in those situations many a times, saying that I'm not gonna kill myself for 3 years. That's the promise I made for myself. And then a year and a half in of collecting data, of giving myself experiences, which was pretty no holds bar, I was like, oh, I think I needed time and space. I needed space away from my old environment, and I needed the opportunity to fill myself in a new way without anyone else's influence. And what I did was I identified, here it is, what I love and what I live for, meaning what I want to live for. So in Bali, I before I left to go to Southeast Asia, I sold my things, I went backpacking, and this was going to be my trip into oblivion. And I gave away my surfboard. I had a surfboard from Buttons, okay, one of the Kahuna Creations surfboards. They don't even make those anymore. And it was my prized possession. I gave it away to some young whippersnapper in the south of Kauai, in Poipu. And he was like, oh, thanks. I was like, take it, you know, and I can surf on a board even smaller than that now. So that was really when you know, wow, and the kid was like, you sure you want to give it to me, cuz? I was like, take it, bro, take it. So he took the board. I went off and I put myself in the ocean, and all of a sudden I remembered how much I loved the water. And the water had many opportunities to swallow me and keep me, and it just kept giving me back, you know, and so I developed something different. So it's not just the surf, but what I realized was in the surfing, I was actually a soul surfing the board that is this body, right? So I have a consciousness that's navigating, and then I can extend that into the board or a bike or fill in the blank, the car, right? And so the many different stages of consciousness navigating the many different boards. And hence, this is really for me where Soul Surfer came in, is we're doing this together and we forget. We're plugged into an experience. So not only did I identify and remember how much I love the ocean, what it felt like to surf, having that timeless chemistry, you know, unfoldment that I didn't even know about at the time. I was just experiencing it. I was having major adrenaline rush, riding on a scooter shirtless throughout Bali. I don't suggest it, but I had the experience. Riding in the rain. Typically we try to avoid the rain, and so I'm having these moments that I would have never had if I didn't decide to push myself to just go a little bit further, right? And to give myself, by myself, the opportunity to feel me once again. And I love what I felt. And I remembered all the opportunities and the moments that I had from a child in youth group, right? Moving from youth group to working in assisted living homes for clinically mentally retarded during my time in college. Children, adolescents, elderly. And I also worked in elderly homes. So I've had a lot of different jobs. But I loved serving people. I've done everything for the human, just about, that you can do. And I'm open to do more, okay? So I love being in service. Ceremony. I love ceremony. I'm a ceremonial man. The next one, so that's 3, right? I love serving my brothers as well. That's still 3, what you love. And this is what I live for. Best you believe. Next, re-expose yourself to what you once loved with less interference. What do I mean? Well, I was in all these relationships. After my first marriage, I felt like a failure, okay? then I felt, oh man, I failed at this, I failed at fatherhood, I failed at maintaining a house, blah, 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 all this in my head. I left my profession, then I started something new, I came into this other religion. Who am I, where am I, what am I doing? I needed the time alone, right? I was taking the time alone to crawl into a hole and die in another country, and I crawled into the hole and I was like, oh, I like this hole. This is amazing. Wait, because why? The energy of me started to reflect back. I started to infill myself. I started to remember who I am, little bit by little bit. And when I tell you I crawled, and I've had the experience of losing my memory of who I am. So when I speak to these poetry books as breadcrumbs, I literally was in a space where I had been broken, okay, and I forgot who I was. And if I had not written these poems down, which was my autobiography and my real-time journal, I was just writing and putting them on Instagram, but this was me saying goodbye. Well, goddamn, if I didn't do that, I would have been in utter confusion, because I even have a sheet of paper with me just to remind me, which is me, Ezra, Derek Albert, and like writing, because I was losing a grip on reality, and I'm like, I'm gonna be put in a home, but I made it using these tools. So, re-exposing myself to the surf without any interference, it takes more time than you think to breathe. And also, when I say interference, I mean, you may be comparing yourself, male or female, men or women, to other people. You look at Instagram, right? I'm not doing too much to make my Instagram fancy, because I'm committed to truth. I know my values. So having the opportunity, and not to say these other people aren't, and not that it's wrong to spruce up, I may do some nicer things here, but taking the time to really know what matters to me, and to feel like, oh man, this sunrise is everything. Wow, I posted about my friend, Amira, okay? Having a friend, do you know how she saved my life, by the way? I went to Copenhagen first, before coming to Bali, before going to Laos, before hitting up Cambodia, before going to Kuala Lumpur, all right? And I go there, and I'm on an island. I did ayahuasca in a space called Pai. I left Pai. I was supposed to meet up with some friends from Pai. I went to the wrong island. I go to Koh Tao. Supposed to go to Corral. They all sound the same, right? I go to Koh Tao, breaking down. First poem about my mom, because I'm really starting to break in. Then I'm like, man, I need some good vegan food. Only good vegan food was on another island called Copenhagen, at a place called, it's called Orion. So I'm like, all right, I'm leaving this island. I go to Copenhagen. On Copenhagen, I meet these three homies, okay? Katie, Amira, Lisa? I forget the other one's name. And I start like sobbing. I'm going through all this stuff. I have a little bungalow on the water. I cried every day, okay? And it's just the pain. So I let myself go through it, but I'm like, I've never hurt like that before. And I think a lot of men don't give themselves the opportunity to see how much they can hurt and still stick in it, DMX has a verse in one of his songs. He's like, you brothers want to fight me? Fight these tears. And I knew what he was talking about. I've cried real man crocodile tears that were the alchemical release of deep pain, not just my pain, but ancestral pain, but sure as fuck, it was my pain, okay? And so a lot of brothers don't even let those out of their eyes. Me, I had cancer. The first cancer, this is how I released, was exposing myself and giving myself the time. And I didn't think that I needed it in that way. So I'm so grateful for those times alone. But I decided, okay, as I release some, then I'm like, okay, what am I going to do on this island? So I decide, well, I'm going to go to learn about Qigong. There was a Qigong master. That was the beginning of me returning to martial arts, because I did this until by the age of 8, I was a red and black belt in Taekwondo, okay? And so I'm like, but then I moved to Florida, so I stopped. But it was a love that I had. Now I'm getting back into the love of martial arts once again. So Qigong, then I took Reiki. I'm also going to yoga, free yoga. Well, I meet these sisters, super happy, blah, 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 we're hanging. And then Amira would hang out with me. But there were some days when I was so low, I was like, fuck, man, I know no one here. I'm off here. Maybe this is the place. Maybe I'm not going to do the 3 years. And then I would get a text or something, and Amira would be like, hey, gonna go to yoga? You want to go to Big Bear or whatever the bear place was? I want to talk to someone. Can we hang out? And I'd be like, yeah. And I would go, and then she was funny. She's funny, serious, very serious Austrian, Egyptian woman, but funny. And I'm like, damn. And so I live another day. But there was one of those days when I was just so deep in it, and I didn't even want to laugh. I'm saying, like, she said something so goofy, some hip hop shit, something, and it made me laugh, and then I was laughed about it, and then on the ride home, she walked, right? She was one of those women who's like, I don't know you, I have a boyfriend, I'm not even trying to be here, but okay. So she walks home, I take the motorbike, and I thought about what she said again, and I laughed till I cried, till I smiled, and I'm like, damn, all right, man. And then it was smooth sailing for a while, not the whole time, right? But she got me through, and I never told her that until we were in Bali, until she was my business partner a couple years later, and we were at a boot camp, a 16-hour boot camp. And at the boot camp, it was like, okay, you're gonna die. Tell your friends something that you've never told them. Like, this is a parent. And I was like, yo, Amira, you don't know this, but I wouldn't be here in this moment if not for you. And this is why straight away when you came to Bali and you were in whatever thing you were in, I was like, I got you. And then you were like, Ez, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm thinking about doing retreats. And you're like, that's beautiful. I'm down for retreats. Let's get in it. And we did so many events, so many gatherings, but that was a person who had my back. And after that second marriage, I was questioning any dynamics that I had with women in my life also, because I was so close to Edelyn. That was my second wife, And so, like, to have a friend who wasn't trying to do anything physical with me, is a very pure friendship and relationship. We're like two Care Bears, cruising around saying, okay, we want to do this. We want to give to the people. What are your dreams? What are your dreams? All right, let's see what we can do. And then she was serious. And a truth I would like to say, and almost hate to say, she was more serious than me. And you guys, those of you who know me know I'm serious about my shit, right? And so even in the video she's already in the video. I'm thinking, wow, okay, we're going to make this promotion. We're in the rice fields, beautiful moment. All right, and this is why you see me making that goofy face, because I can't do that to her face to face because she would get so pissed. And she's like, hey, we're here to work. I'm like, God damn, how old are you? And so that work ethic, I really prize and value, and it's a gift, all right? But during that time, I realized, you know what? I'm going to stick around until I'm out of here, and I'm open to doing ceremony. I'm going to hold retreats, all right? I'm open to learning about the medicine and seeking to serve it from a space of integrity. And I haven't veered from that. Test me, anyone, come through, I've had journeys where I may have had my own experience if I'm in the medicine, but then I'm at the mercy of the medicine. But yet and still, it's been very important for me to hold space for people in a way that they know that they're safe, that I'm not trying to weasel in. And if I don't feel like I'm safe inside, if I'm questioning myself, I stop. I stopped holding ceremony for a while. It was the medicine consciousness that came back and was like, what are you doing? You do a good job, brother. Get back to it. And so now I'm preparing myself. In truth, I got a little lazy and just wanted to work a regular job. Oh well. Okay? So, and Alexander, I hope you're still on. Thank you for tuning in. So here we are. I'm speaking to my 5 things that have helped me navigate through the suicide. So it was re-expose yourself to what you loved with less interference. Why? Okay, for those of you who are in relationship, you're on the toilet, you're reading a book, but you got one bathroom. Someone's going to come knocking on the door eventually. What are you doing? Hey, I got to use the bathroom too. Don't take the toilet paper, put it in the toilet, because here we don't have a good septic system, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, before you can get into your own groove or you just relax, you've got to contend with other energies. So for me, it's a very special thing. It's very special for me to be in my own space again, because I'm healing from things that happened 20 years ago. This is where I come from in terms of my ethos with the integration. But I'm also getting exposed to things that I love. I'm planting things outside. I'm literally watching the grass grow. I want to see what's going to come out of the grass, because I know that there's healing things in the grass when it grows. I'm not treating it with anything, just getting to see. I'm cooking. I love to cook. This is what happened to me before. And I still cooked in my last relationship, but it's a different cooking. There's no rush. There's no competition. Whatever I put in one spot stays in one spot. I like that kind of shit. That's me as the Virgo. Number 5, and then I'm going to recap, and then I'll bring this to an end. Number 5, be more cutthroat about your purpose. Why? Why would I say that? What do I mean when I say cutthroat? I don't mean go cutting people's throats, right? I also own both aspects of myself. So I'm a beautiful man. I care about peace. I am violent as well. And I put my violence in its place because it doesn't benefit. Typically, it won't benefit anyone for the long haul, but if I need to use it, I've got it on tap, and I will use it. I will use it, okay? So, because it's mine, and I've definitely earned the journey, and it's come in handy for me, so I'm not going to question it. Shit's just going to go down, but I will pause. That's the difference. There's a difference between saying, does this need to happen? How is that going to affect the people around me? Can I wait a little bit? Versus, okay, do I need to do this? If I've decided I'm going in, I'm going in. Sorry for you. So when I say be more cutthroat about your purpose, and I apply that, hello, Anastasia. I mean, as Riyadh, I went through, this is me, and everyone's feelings are valid. Everything that you've navigated is valid, okay? I've navigated at least 4 iterations of losing everything and choosing to come back. I've navigated despair up to the point where I thought anything else that happens will break my spirit. And they say that the body cannot contend with a broken spirit. Broken heart, fine. A broken bone, you can mend, but a broken spirit, who can contend with? And I'm just like, I can't. You've been there, right? When you say you can't. So to come back and get this opportunity, for me to get to spend time with people that I love, that I'm really like, fuck, I'm there for you. You let me know, and there for you doesn't mean every time I'm running across town, maybe I'm on a guest, right? But it means my spirit is here. I am very aware that I'm here, that I've chosen to be here. And part of my sacred contract is to uphold the contract that I have with you. And so for my purpose, now that you gain clarity, well, what was going on during the ideations of suicide, the depression? You were compressed. You were blinded. You couldn't see clearly. You lost track of your value. So my value is intrinsic, but the value that I can express and exchange with must be honored because of what I know and what I've come through just to be here on Instagram, okay? It's not about me having a bunch of followers. I may actually decrease my followers because I hear the algorithm will work, I don't know, whatever. Like if you want to exchange with people and I want to really connect with the people who I'm here for, and yet and still, my purpose, working with the masculine, honoring the feminine by this work. I'm super dedicated. I'm so dedicated that I have to rein myself back, because everyone has a process. So I'd be like, you guys ain't serious. You're not serious. Are you serious? And then the guys be like, what do you mean? And I'm like, everything in its time. We got this, okay? I'm going to be here studying. I want them to know. It's very important for me to do the work that I need to do within myself, and then whatever they can receive from me, they'll take. So, because why? Because I'm also dedicated to the feminine. My book, the second book, The Art of Wanting You, and the reprise will be The Art of Desiring You. It's about loving yourself, one, loving your partner or partners, depending on how you get down, and also where you want to go with this conversation with me, nature, the environment. Because I know that you can take the book and the poetry and you can read to the trees and read to the environment, and it will bring you back to yourself. It'll bring you back to the love of your partner, because we are all 3 of these things. We're projecting all of this out. So which one do you choose to look at? Don't take the book and not, you can also check in with me if you purchase the book, and I can guide you through a process of that, of reading outside of being read to, of being nurtured, so you can feel the real alchemy in the writing. Why? Because I wrote these in process of my journey of loving myself. I read those poems not only to me, I read them to other people, I read them to nature. It's different. It's a different thing, okay? So when I decide I'm going to do an event, I'm bringing all of me, as much of me as possible. And so now when I say be cutthroat about your purpose, it's snowballing, all right? I'm not allowing anyone who's not aligned with the caliber of nobility, with the caliber of desire and thirst and right ruling, as they would say as a Hebrew, right? But let's take that term out. When I mean right ruling, meaning you care about justice. You're also open to look at and recontextualize how you believe justice to be to get to the next justice. You're about the marathon, right? My purpose is a marathon type of purpose, which means I'll be on it like this until the day I do transition of natural causes or whatever else happens. But I'm not taking myself out per se like I thought I was going to, because my purpose requires that I gain wisdom and impart it. that I hold the hand and the hearts of the people who are important to me, that I've identified, that I recognize that I'm here for. It means that I want to see men really connect with themselves, maybe not having to go through what I've gone through. Some of them have gone through worse, but I know that I have the ability to hold space for them. Bring me your deepest, most well-trained individual in the men's space or women's space, and let us sit in the presence together, and some healing will be had. You know, so I don't have to be, it's not a cockiness about it, it's just, this is what it is, because I'm that dedicated. I know it, it's a knowing, and I'm willing to unknow and come into a different knowing until I'm out, till I breathe my last. So when I say be cutthroat, then it's like, no, I'm not going to be in a relationship that's not aligned. I'm not going to do that anymore. And as I realize it's not aligned, I'm willing to leave it for my purpose, because my purpose is my number one beloved. And that beloved precipitates it, she, the beloved of my purpose, the divine feminine of my purpose, calls me into a deeper way of being myself, a deeper me. And so to honor her, to honor it, right? Then I proceed, I move forward. And then anything that would present itself, and of course you take time, right? I take my time now. I give, and I take time. But when I discover, when I know within myself, this is not aligned, this isn't right, I have a sit-down conversation with me, with the divine, and then with the individuals that I'm gathering with, and I can give them as much data as they can in a tactful way. But I can also just say, this shit ain't working out, it's not aligned, because this is my vision and I'm very clear. This is what I'm here to do, and you and your distractions and your fragmented, whatever the fuck, and it's not always that way, right? But I do see it that way because I work with the military. And so I work well with that kind of dialogue, but also just getting to the point. I'm here, and I'm going to be more here. And so in order for me to be more here, I need to be more clear so that I can hear what it is to be here. In clarity, in potency, in coherency, navigating the spectrum of this rainbow bridge that is this body, and honoring the rainbow bridges that are you as other aspects of the divine. So there's no way that I'm going to let myself get in the way of doing what I'm called to do for you, which is also me. Right? I'm not going to jump on any bandwagons. It's easy to get caught up in all the different life activities, education, entertainment, economics, labor, law, sex, how we navigate in sex, religion, politics, war. These are the things that are thrown at us that leave us in a tizzy and that pull us further as we divide ourselves into the matrix, right? Which is an illusion. I'm in Tulum, big illusion. But the illusion tells the truth. I was out on the ocean this morning and I was like, oh my God, this place. I love it. I love the waters. But what to do about the illusions that come to us in the dreamland, the land of the Toltecs, how to navigate this space. And then it came to me. Brother, the illusion is telling the truth. It is an illusion. It tells you, right? The story is telling you it's the story. So then I'm like, okay, economies of scale. How much energy do I have to put into all the things that I'm told I have to put energy into within the spiritual communities, within all the different coaching developments? I'm helping people to come deeper into themselves because I'm doing the work myself, right? So I may get some certs because I love certs, the candy, but I like to educate myself, but I have something else, right? I have a grasp on something else that I'm aware of and that I don't need to hide at this point. And also, I can articulate or I can be verbose about it, but in the end, we just sit together and be quiet. And you'll feel it. You can feel it. So when I speak on my page, when I'm talking about magnetic masculinity, I'm not discounting the feminine. I'm saying, also, we talk about it, but how many people have a grasp of what magnetism is or have looked into that? Okay? Right? We think a lot of times the explosion, which is the dissipation of energy, is actually a display of power, but it's a display of the loss of power. So I'm looking forward to the next phase. My brother Lang is going to join me again. We're going to go again for another 8 weeks, right? I have folks now, we're doing 8 weeks for the third time. Why? There must be something good going on here. And I haven't done any testimonies because I don't have time. But I will make testimonies if that helps people. But I also know, per my vibration, I'm being just brought to the people who are to work with me. And I will open up a spot or two for women, serious women, to journey, because again, women are navigating these spaces, but really I have to be very discerning, right? Because a lot of men also, we don't want to hear it. So many things get triggered, and so to be able to trust someone to move you through even that triggering, and to have the space to respectfully say, you know what, I trust you as a guide. I'm going to walk with you. And it's a really healing thing for men to experience that. And to even express, hey, I don't trust you right now. And to have the space for me to say, well, let's talk about it in real time. But you don't run nowhere. We're going to talk about it right now. And we're going to move through it because this is what you're paying me for, brother. And we get into it. And then all of a sudden, they're a new person. Why? Because they never experienced that kind of space holding for them. And it's not that I'm using a bunch of crazy jargon. This is what I'm here to do. And so it does what it's here to do, right? So it's not whatever advertisements I put together, but they do speak to it. Of course, I'll do that. I'll make the effort. But it's really us remembering the mastermind is for you to wake up and continue to awaken. Alarm clocks, and then we have to help each other in the process. Other people aren't talking about it. Everyone's just trying to get the tangible result. You're going to get the tangible results and more because we're working on your character. And you're getting the esoteric, true understanding and experience of what it is to cultivate a mastermind with yourself and another person. And then inadvertently, you're going to be doing that with yourself in the realm and the other people around you, whether they know it or not. And that's powerful. It's powerful. And it's here. It's here now. So let's go through the 5. And can you feel my energy? This is why I would be cutthroat. Because it's taken a long time to come to this. And some people know off the bat, being cutthroat is really a display of your value. How much do you value yourself? A lot of times we allow for the abuse. We don't value ourselves enough, and what we do value and what we're used to and what we go back to are the abusive situations. There's some things you guys have never heard me talk about. Like, okay, some of you have navigated and we get caught up in narcissism, BPD, many expressions of covert dynamics, right? That aren't beneficial, okay? Codependency. But we're looking at them from the view of actually a very interesting, very well-educated system, but the system is maybe built already on a level of insanity and schizophrenia as it is. And so being able to pull back and get to like the simplicity, it's powerful and it works. Simplicity works. It's the core of everything. So you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but goddamn, figure out who's the baby. Figure out the baby, right? Or as the Tao would say, to know the daughter, you must know the mother. But the mother is the source. And she has a source. So then you understand what's going to unfold. So I'm excited to share about the metaphysics. Let's recap these, and then I would love if anyone wants to pop on and share how they're feeling about what I've shared. Then I'd love to hear it, or if there's any other thoughts or any questions, because I know this sounds funny, right? Here we are again, finding your superpower. Oh, it sounds hokey, woo-woo. Once you find it, because you are super individuals, you're divine consciousness navigating an extremely technological avatar, the highest tech, right? Within a visible spectrum that many beings come into and seek to navigate, and not all the beings in existence can hold up what it is to be here. And here we are in amnesia, navigating these, fantastic skinships of kinship, and I'll get into that more. Find your superpower, because you have many cities, many, okay? Keep trying and be willing to die along the way. Get healthy or die trying. Why? If you're going to kill yourself, if you're already suicidal, if you're navigating through the depression, you've been through the hard times in your relationship, you're dealing with an illness, go after your healing with the intention to go all the way. Number 3, identify what you love and want to live for. And you can just look back try to think. You might be upset with yourself because you think about the thing that you loved before, but you don't get that feeling inside. You feel numb. Guess what? Being numb is a feeling as well. Right? Not feeling is a feeling. Because all we do in this life is feel. Numbness is the sensation of lack of sensation, stimuli, experience through your nervous system. So, try to remember the thing that you loved and go give it a shot again. I love surfing. I love taking walks in nature. I used to do this in the morning. I love touching and smelling flowers and like touching the plants and talking to them and feeling the bark, feeling that's not, poisonous, so to say, because we have barks that'll make you itchier. Put some gloves on, but feeling all the trees have a different bark. All right? And their bark is better than their bite, I swear. Okay? Water droplets in water and looking at that. Like there's some very simple things that I loved that I forgot, and it was me taking the time alone. In the mentorship, they say, time is my currency. Sometimes I don't repeat that phrase, right? Because I don't necessarily, time is a aspect of the movement of consciousness, but the currency is your uniqueness, and it unfolds in a timeless way if you allow it to, because you will shed this body and your uniqueness will still be there. The unique aspect of the divine that you are, that's separated from the whole, will move on in another way. So your real currency is your uniqueness. And this is why I'm not going to be a cookie cutter coach, so to say. Until I meet my twin who's doing the same things, then I'm going to be like, damn, I guess we are cookie cutters. And I'll own it and I'll think of something different to do. But we know that there's nothing new under the sun, so they say. But if I'm not under the sun, then maybe there's an opportunity. Identify what you love and you want to live for. Now, once you know that that's what you love and you want to live for it all the way, and don't let anyone else get in the way. Back to the cutthroat part. 4, re-expose yourself to what you once loved with less interference. Come on, guys. Just think about it again. A lot of time it's like, I would say in my last relationship, damn, I'm having this good experience, and it's like someone snatched my lollipop, popped my ghost face balloon. What do I mean? Is, and many of you may have experienced this, you get into this moment where you feel, this is great, and because we've had the moment snatched away by something which has now become a trauma, we have the expectation, right? You have the expectation of all the goods happening. I'm making money now, or I got my car, or I'm in a relationship, and the fear from the last broken relationship will come up. It has to. You got to move through it. Get some support to move through it, but you got to move through it, okay? And then, so without interference would mean, you identify that experience that you had, you kind of know, you can now anticipate that, okay, when you get into a relationship, those of you who've been single, ladies, men, for a long time, I did this in my last relationship. I said, hey, look, everything's nice and sweet, but as we proceed, as we get to year 1, 1.5, 2, I know things are going to come up for me because I've had a lot of issues around that time frame in relationship. And I know I'm going to start feeling like, oh, the shit's going to fall apart, and so I was really articulate and vocal about it, and then I let myself feel. I said I would take time away. I wake up earlier in the morning to give myself the unhindered experience of feeling what exists within me, and then I'd talk about it. I'd bring it up if it was appropriate. But with less interference, I actually moved through. I integrated, and I also started to remember the things that I love without my parents, without my siblings, without any feeling of something coming to take it away, so that when those dynamics were at play, then I said, oh, I could recognize that. And I said, no, you're not going to devalue what I love about myself. This is what I love about myself. What do you think? Hey, let's be honest, you don't like it. You don't have to like it. It's okay. But I like it. And I'm going to give myself the space and the time to enjoy it. And then maybe in that space and time, you may think of it a different way, but you don't have to. You're not wrong. But I'm not going to fool myself. I'm not going to lie to myself. Rule number 1, do not lie to yourself. Number 5, be more cutthroat about your purpose. My purpose is, again, in support of the men. I'm helping to cultivate the masculine as an old man in a young body, okay? Passing on wisdom, grabbing the wisdom in action, helping men to initiate themselves, because I can create an initiation process, but it's the individual that initiates themselves, because the will must come from the individual. The desire must come from inside, so I know this. So when I'm doing the work with someone who's open to the work, I can support them because I already know they're open to the work. And this is where we get results. I'm not trying to convince people. I can push you a little bit through a tough time, but I'm someone who I've had support, but the work, the fight is inside of me. And so I'm going to align with people who the fight is inside of them, and I just need to help them a little bit. Stoke that fire. Get the fire going. Coach, get right. What's up, my brother? So the last one was be more cutthroat about your purpose. My brother, I'm sharing 5, and please, man, share this to the brothers in New York, right? Because they need to hear some of us talking about it in an unorthodox way. What I'm speaking to is how I navigated suicidal ideations. Real quick, finding my superpower. You found your superpower, King. Keep trying and be willing to die along the way like 50. I had that 50-cent mentality, and I was actually putting aspects of myself to death so that the real aspects that I love about myself could come to life and fruition, and then I hold them close. Not so close that they can't transition into what they need to do, but close enough so that they know I'm aware of them and I'm here for them as their father, right? Like a daddy. I daddy myself. I don't diddy myself, but I daddy myself. I dig. All right. 3, identify what you love and what you want to live for. If it's health, if it's fitness, you love and you live the love. And then that love that you're living helps. It brings life to other people. So I bring value to people. I don't show up. And if you feel, any of you ever feel I'm coming around trying to move or leech, I'm someone, you let me know, because I'll course correct. I want to bring 4 to 5 to 7 times the value, which means as I come in contact with you, I'm already thinking, I know what this person's vision is. I know your vision, Coach Get Right. I'm thinking as I meet people, this person can really benefit from him. Let me patch you two together. The whole time I've been in Tulum, once I decided I was going to be here, it was to deposit. Okay, now there's a balance to be able to receive. But if there's people, you're not around people who can bring the balance, then you need to be honest with yourself. All right? So being cutthroat about the purpose means I'm here to do this thing. I'm not going to get in the way as best as I can about it. I'm going to look to see and ask the questions that I wouldn't know to ask so that I can come into that truth. And then I'm going to hold myself more accountable than anyone else could to bring it into fruition. Amira, who I honored, held me to it. She held me to it enough over in Bali that I can hear her voice as years have gone by, and it's a healthy voice. Hey man, you said you were going to do this. I know you're tired, but you surfed for 4 hours. You didn't have to surf that long. If we have things to do, are you open to working just a little bit longer to get us closer to what we said we do? You said that you want to do a retreat. We need to put the retreat structure together. Hey, we're going to hold a ceremony. Are you prepared for the ceremony? You look tired. Shouldn't you rest? Hey man, we're doing, a beach workout. I think you should do some more push-ups to suck your tummy in, or do something for your abs because we're going to do yoga on the beach and it's not so great for your for the posture. So we need you to be able to stabilize yourself, and also we need to be hydrated. And it's like, so this is it, right? That person, Amira, young woman, was she 10 years younger than me? But she knew what to say. And so that was also a big lesson for me in terms of, even as I got into different relationships, I had women coming who weren't like bringing the same shit that my friend was bringing in purity. Well, I have a standard. Good friends, the good people in your life will help you to create a standard. So my standard in regards to being cutthroat about my purpose are, if I'm working somewhere, I don't give a fuck what the title is, if I'm unable to execute it at my level of being, I will try first. If not, drop the title, drop the work. If I realize, like I have, and it's nothing against the other people, but no, I should be putting more time into the men's work. I should be cultivating these aspects of myself because I'm getting downloads. I should be taking the time to prepare for coming into a culture that can receive me, that understands me. I am going to be in a space where people know my value, where I say, this is what I charge. And one thing could be, oh, wow, I can't afford that, but I totally respect that. Is there something else that we can work out? Quite possibly. Be surprised at the answer, because I already invest in people. I'm a philanthropist of the heart. I don't have to have a lot of money. I really invest my true currency in the realm. Okay? And I've been quiet about it, and I will go back to being quiet about it, but I'm never going to stop doing it. But you must be in balance, right? Right? That's today's mathematics. Build and destroy. You know what I'm saying? So, time to build. Okay, I hope you guys understand this. I hope you enjoyed what I'm saying. If anyone would like to come on, I'd love to have you on. Coach Get Right. Quest, getting ready for the surf, brother. I'm excited for the gathering. So you guys are going to be doing a surf retreat together with in Cali. Epic, epic, epic. Can't wait to catch some waves with you guys. I don't know when I'll be surfing Cali waves. It's going to be in Huntington. Let me know. So I'm been consistent in being part of the small and burgeoning growing surf culture here. But out there this morning, it's glassy and catching waves on some 1-2 foot, and sometimes it gets high here in Tulum. So I'm excited to do that. That won't be my main thing, but because I can bring the men to there, then there's where they come together, and also some women, right? So I'll do some surf things here. I would love to actually take myself to a surf camp as well. So that's going to be a gift I give to myself within the next year and a half, to just go away and start from the very basics, you know? And Coach Get Right, I'm excited for the work that you're doing. So let me know when we can truly chop it up. It's going to be good to do not just a live, but like a real podcast together. Myself, you, Momo. I'd like to just drop in with you and share this experience, especially, you know, the work that you're doing between the men here in the States and all. I've witnessed you. I've been watching, cheering you on, saying petitions for you, and really appreciating the work and the way that you've been seeking to cultivate yourself. So kudos to you. Lena, the same. Okay, let me see. Who's on right now before I get cracking? Because, again, this is the long, uncustomary Instagram post, and what I think I'll do is prepare to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it with a little bit. I'll cut it and put the wrapping aspect up, and then this will go on Instagram. So, again, for those of you tuning in, I want to share, and I've had the opportunity to share 5 of the things that personally helped me and have helped other people to navigate the space of suicide. I'm going to read down the list, and then we're going to get into it. So you can catch the full video if you've come late. You'll be able to catch it not so much on Instagram. I'm just going to put a short snippet, but you'll be able to catch it on YouTube. So check out the YouTube. And again, I am not a board certified professional. I'm life certified. I moved through my own journey. I used the tools that I had at hand. Even if suicidal ideations want to whisper in my ear, I know what to do, not only to help myself, but other people. And I rocked it. Shitap. Shitap? Dígame. Shitap. Sabe qual é? Gaga. Gaga. Sing, sit. Is that correct? Or should I just say 557? 577? Thank you for tuning in. Is there anything that you want to add or you'd like to ask? Thank you. Thank you, Lena. I want you to have profound value, you know? Really, I was going to do something else. I was going to do a live earlier that I love you, fam. My live was going to be on this. I was going to speak to value, delusion, and grandiosity. Maybe we can speak to it another time, but I had to figure out my value for myself, and I had to put that in my face every time I thought I wanted to check out, and I had to allow aspects of myself that didn't want to fall in line with the truth of that value to transition. And now what do? I help people remember what it is to live through fun, through ceremony, through serious conversation, through space holding, through witnessing. And also, I have a good time. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Love you. I'm good. I got foam over here. I'm living a good life from moment to moment in gratitude. I'm learning the lessons. I'm feeling all the feels, and they feel good. You know, see these eyes, right? Do they look tired? I did a live the other day, and my father said to me, "This is parents for you, right?" We're on this live. We're talking about ways that we can heal diabetes. We can help. I can't say heal, but you know what I'm saying, right? Refreshed, okay? Navigating the space of multiple sclerosis, like fixing things, giving information that's never been heard. My dad says to me, "Son, that was a good live. It was kind of long, like this one." He says, "You should wash your face. You look tired. It's good to wash your face to make yourself fresh before." I was like, "That's what you..." Okay. So, before my next live, I'll make sure to wash my face so that I'm fresh. I'll always be epic. Happy to be here. Thank you for tuning in. All right, I'll follow you as well. Follow each other. We'll walk hand in hand in fellowship. Get it? Like fellowship? Dad joke. Aloha.